How are you, everyone? It's Glenn from the Burnett River Clean. It's the 1st of May. It's about 11:30 and I'm just down here at Baldwin Swamp. It's been the topic of conversation this week or last week. I'm opposite the Bundaberg East Public School, and it's a nice little school, as you can see there. And I was down here around about a year ago. So what I was down here for was I found around 28-30 needles exactly opposite this little drain here in this bit of bush. And I did call the council, and I even went over to the school and I told them, I said, look, I found these needles opposite here and blah, 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 and you better do something, you know, because this was all marked out with posts and everything for a cross-country event. It all ran through Baldwin Swamp. If anyone comes down here, they'll know how there's a walkway that goes all the way around here. So this was all marked out for kids the following day to run through on a cross-country event. So as far as I know, nothing was ever said to any of the students in relation to warning them about needles, or any of the parents or anything like that. I'm not 100% certain, but I do know a few kids that go to that school, and I've asked their parents and they have said, no, we never heard a thing about that. I find that kind of harsh, and I find it kind of, I don't know, just unbelievable that wouldn't be a topic, you know, like a warning to the children. Anyway, I'll show you what I found. I've bought some needles down today. They're in this brown bag. I'm not going to put them on the ground, but I'm just going to basically show you how many I've found. I've got the same amount in here that I found out at that Ferrymead shed again the other day. I don't continually promote this because people are getting sick of seeing needles. Every time they turn on, they see the Burnett River Clean. All they see is needles. This is the area I found them. They were just sitting about 3 feet in from here. The stuff wasn't as high then. So I will sit here and I'll unpack them and I'll show you exactly how many I found. The thing I'm sitting on here is a sewer of some sort, and it frickin' stinks, but I'll sit here and I'll just show you. These needles that I found the other day were all nice and clean. And I've been around Bundaberg today, and I went to the Bundaberg North Lions Park. There was 2 needle dispensers, or whatever you call them, there on the toilets, which is fair enough. And then I went over to the little toilet near the courthouse there, and that was closed or ready for demolishing. So there was no needle dispenser there. So I don't know where people are meant to dump these needles, and I don't know whether junkies really have that on their mind. I mean, people have got to understand that when you're using this stuff, the last thing on their mind is, oh, we better go and find a needle dispenser. I don't think that's how they think. And that's just, you know, you can blame the junkies, you can blame whoever you want, but how's it getting into Australia and all that kind of thing? Stop the junkies from getting, the people from getting hold of it, and there won't be as many junkies. But you can see here, these little bags and stuff, they were exactly what I found as well. As close as I can get to what I found. There was 2 or 3 of these containers, and there was 28 needles or 30 needles, and they were scattered around in a little pile, probably 3 times the size of that pile. They were just chucked in there. Obviously, people don't sit here and throw their needles over there. I'd say they've just walked through here. Maybe they've had a little stash where they shoot up, who knows? Because I've found little areas where I'll find these, and I'll find like one of those little arm straps and a little tin one of these that are full of swabs and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, they're using, and they've got to find somewhere to do it. So, but this is the closest I got to showing what I found that day, and that's a lot of needles, you know. And they are clean needles. They're the ones I found out at Ferrymead the other day, but that's a lot of frickin' needles. And to be ignored by the Jack Dempsey Council really pissed me off. It really did. There's no other way I can butter it up. Put these needles back in their container, but look at that. There's 20 needles in there, 20 used syringes that are as sharp as the day they came off the wherever they make bloody needles, and there's room for more. So when you find these containers, they could have up to 25, maybe even 30 needles in every single one. Why is it too hard to promote this on the I nearly swore, on the news, to just avoid one accident? Just one. Why is it so hard for a school to not educate kids on what can be inside these containers? Just one kid. Like, I've got the council telling me I can't come in here and pick up rubbish because I'm not qualified. I don't have a safety schedule set up or some crap like that. Where are the council workers when we find these needles? You don't see them. I find so many needles, it's freaking ridiculous now. And to have some twit from the council email me and say that I need some sort of a special safety freaking management plan to come in here and pick up shit they won't is ridiculous. I mean, they'll just pick any council worker out and send him down here, or her. So to be told by this council that someone has to be trained or something to pick up rubbish from down here is an absolute joke. I mean, they can't even pick up the rubbish along the edges of the banks here. They told me that when there's rubbish here, they will send the special crew down to pick up all the rubbish. And look at it. I bet you if I went through this shit, I would find more needles along the banks or find them floating and stuff like that. So, you know, I just can't believe that someone like Helen Blackburn has been elected. There's not going to be anything she'll be able to do, because every time she puts forward an idea or whatever you want to call it, those same councillors that don't like me are going to go, oh, we don't like him, we're going to say no. No matter what she tries to do, they're going to say no. And they're going to keep saying no because their egos are just too big. They're just too out of control. Same councillors will say no, and they'll get more satisfaction out of saying no and not care about the fact that there are needles laying around all through Bundaberg. I have people on my page calling this place Scumdaberg, Icedaberg, Shitdaberg, all this kind of stuff. Most of them aren't from here. And, you know, and then I get told, well, if I didn't put it on Facebook, they wouldn't be saying that. And it's the same thing. The people who say that just want to hide and just suck up the arse of the council. You know, I had a woman on there last night, Angelina Lother, or whatever she calls herself. She works for some federal mob here in Bundaberg. She said to me, you know, the reason you're on shaky ground with the council is because you probably say the wrong thing. So that's a classic example of someone who would rather hear nothing like this, nothing about needles, nothing about anything like that, so that everything was peaceful. That's pathetic. That's why she was blocked and removed from the channel, the Facebook page, because that to me is just another person who's willing to say anything for the council and pretend that they like them, just so that it keeps the peace. You know, she probably works for a member of parliament or something like that. They're another group who won't say they don't like me because I say what's on my mind, and I will put down all these needles and I'll do this sort of thing and I'll upset them all. The point that I'm trying to make is some little kid or some adult is going to end up with a spike from a needle. Needles can carry tetanus, they can carry hepatitis. I mean, some of these needles that you see in my photos are just pure, fresh, purple blood. You know, imagine finding that hanging out of the arm of your little kid. You'd be so worried about AIDS would be the first thing that came into your mind. And anybody in this frickin' town who sits there and says that I should stop posting this is as bad as the council who ignore it. The councillors who are not agreeing with Helen Blackburn, people like that. This is an important issue, and to turn your back on the fact that a child or an adult could be spiked by a needle, turn your back on safety and not promote it on the news or in the papers or anything, is absolutely freaking disgusting. They shouldn't even be representing the town at all. And there's a half a dozen of those people in there who I don't think should be in there anyway, but that's only my opinion. And like I said before, Helen Blackburn is going to have her work cut out, because anything she tries to do in relation to environment or stuff like that, if my name comes up, that's it. And like I said in a post last night, I don't want the frickin' river cleaning contract. Could you imagine the bullshit you would have to go through working for this current council? While they have a charity here that comes here for 30 days, roughly, for the whole year. A couple of days a month for the whole year. Parades themselves around on frickin' whatever the channel is here and everything else, and they write down crap bloody things on their Facebook page about how much they're removing. It's just an absolute circus. And then to have those same dickheads telling people that I go around dumping rubbish, like large amounts of rubbish, taking photos of it, posting it, getting up the council, then I pick it all up, and then I take it to the tip at my expense. That's a pretty smart thing to say to people, isn't it? I had one bloke the other day when I picked up a few things off him. He knows the people from the charity, and he said to me, he said, these people told him that I got onto their boat and attacked a woman and had to be separated from that woman. Like, I wouldn't even know these dickheads if I crossed paths with them for a start, and I can sure as hell tell you I've never been anywhere near their boats. Helen Blackburn's totally aware of this. I've got a shitload of emails of threats and everything else that comes from this river cleaner. So the reason I'm mentioning it is so that people are aware that the town is just being conned. Rightio. It's got nothing to do with me wanting to be the river cleaner, because that's the last thing I'd want to be, is in any relationship with this council. All I want them to do is do what's right and post the right things. But I believe that when I see it.